Okay. Here it is. My big Avatar discussion. I'm supposed to be talking about demons and deities, but I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do that on my way home. So I'm going to do this one first. All right. So Avatar. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. This is Jeff Carroll. I'm giving my Avatar Fire and Ice reaction video. Sometimes I do movie reviews and reactions, so this is one of those. I'm a writer, science fiction writer, filmmaker, award-winning filmmaker, and comic book creator. Check my Kickstarter. Put the link in the video. Anyway, where can I start? All right. First of all, it's 50 million comments. Okay, 50 million comments. I waited 2 Mondays since I saw the film. I actually was going to go see it the Friday it came out. Ended up seeing it the Thursday night that it came out. My wife wanted to see it as well. So yeah, no big deal. Enjoyed the movie. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So I'm going to start off right there. Preface all my critique from that point. I saw everything that everybody else saw. I actually feel like this week I may go see it again just because of holidays. There's no school. I'm writing and I'm reading. So I may have some free time. So maybe around Wednesday I might see it again. Anyway, I will say this. First of all, this is going to be spoilers. I don't intend to spoil it, but I want to be free to say whatever I want to say. So from here on out, yeah, it's going to be it's possible spoilers. Not deliberate, so watch at your own risk. My first thing that I would say is I did feel that the villain girl was sort of great. I was happy to see that and see for people that say this is the same exact storyline. It was similar to 2 and 1, but there's no villain like this in 2 and 1. This villain is diabolically opposed as an enemy. There was no enemy that hated the Na'vi like this villain in the first 2 films. The corporation didn't want to extinct the people. They just wanted the unobtainium, and the people were in the way. So that's a difference than how these people were. Not to mention, these people were their own people. Prior to this, we thought the whole planet was, weak and vulnerable people. Now, the problem that I had was weak and vulnerable people that needed AWA. Number one, these people didn't like AWA. However, as menacing and threatening as they appeared, especially in the trailer and kind of when they first arrived, you realize that these are rebels. These are outliers. And as much as they can terrorize a tribe on Pandora, they don't offer no threat to the humans. They're less of a threat than the Na'vi because their numbers are smaller. So it's a whole different ball game, and you didn't realize that until, after kind of in the middle of the film, you're like, wait a minute, these people ain't nobodies. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes that type of letdown. And then the other letdown, as good as the girl was and as sassy as she was, her character wasn't really built. It reminded me of the Dahomey in African history, where the Dahomey actually had been a war-torn tribe. They were bits and pieces of, I think it was the Ashanti tribe, and they became tools of the oppressor. So I felt that this group had inspiration from them, and I I don't know how strong the Dahomey were. I don't know if they stood up to the colonial powers after they became a strong nation or not. But I do know what they did involving themselves in slavery was a sucker punch move, So I don't know if they stood up to the colonial powers. I don't know if they were part of the people that said this has got to stop. Maybe they changed their ways, but I do know they was trading for maybe 70 years, or they were just an empire that existed for a number of years. Anyway, this group did not kind of hand them people for slavery. They kind of just turned their back on the planet and its resources and AWA, which is sort of different. Now, they were killing people and they were raiding them, but they was doing that on their own for their own profit, and they weren't enslavers, right? It didn't really have slavery in there, so it kind of was cool that they didn't. But then the other part that I had with them was that they laid their leadership down. This strong woman that is leading all these over these I don't say Navi, but Pandora people and Pandora species. She lays it down to this clone species, this clone human dude, and they kind of never really asked how they became a Pandora people. You know what I'm saying? And I would have liked a little explanation. I would have liked to have seen some of the people, just a side person, one of the guys, talking to her, you could see that she is, how she rose to leadership, sort of how they did it in 300, you know what I'm saying? Even with male leaders of groups, they're like the roughest dude, and that explains how they became leader. I think there's even more explanation needs to go into a female, because number one, she's a female, and this, woman seemed like she had a ability to connect. She had ability to connect people with their tethering braids and take them down. So that seemed interesting. You know what I'm saying? That seemed interesting. I would have liked to have learned a little more of that. So as much as I liked her, or the element that she brought to the movie, it was a letdown. The more I learned, the deeper we dove into that group of people, it was a letdown. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I'm going to comment on it, is because it wasn't a factor for me, was the overall story repetitiveness. To me, I didn't really have no problem with it. When I look at a lot of stories, they run the same storylines, they finish the same way. Star Wars, Disney in general. I actually have no problem with a happy ending. Now, how you get there is where the twists and stuff come, and they did enough originality for me, like the new look at the whales, the space pirates who kind of should have played more of a role. I would have liked to have seen those animals become useful to the revolution, like Awa did with all of the animals in the first two pictures. If we're going to talk repetitiveness, I would have liked to have seen that. What else? The switching with, let's not say switching, because it wasn't no switching. The growth with the little character that learned that Awa helped breathe, that was different, and the growth of Sigourney Weaver's character, learning to get over her beef that she felt she had with Awa, that was cool. And this will roll in, so I'm gonna leave it to the end. But the overall progression of the tribal relationship that Neytiri had, Zoe Saldana's character had with all of the people. And now let me just get into, so it was nothing really with Jake. I didn't mind seeing Tukmahu. I'm glad he didn't die, the big dragon bird. I'm glad he didn't die. But now we get into the people relations. And there was another point that Zoe seemed ridiculous. You know, I hate not to curse, but I feel like cursing. She's fucking out of her mind talking about her character, Natiri, was racist. Or she's just racist. What the hell, man? What the hell? Come on, Natiri, you better than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Zoe, I'm watching the movie and there's so much analogies, right? The analogies are so clear. I'm wondering how a person like Zoe, from a conquered people, from invaders, who totally changed your religion and your damn near exterminated the Carib or the Taino, whoever you want to claim lived on Hispaniola, but you come from a conquered people for your resources. You had sugar, you had other natural resources on Hispaniola, and you can't see the damn analogies, your Pocahontas behavior. Sheesh, God, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody been trying to tell this chick, the powerless, the victims, have the right to hate the victimizers, the conquerors. And that's not racism. That's regular reaction. Racism is a hate for people that doesn't have any reason. So they got a reason. Anyway, kind of enough on that. That's my piece on that. She is stupid. And I kind of figured that, you know, in real life, she Pella Malo, she got the good hair for her children, you know, she improved her race like some, you know, people of color believe, whereas black people or Dominican people, she did that, and her sister did the same thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I would have been surprised if she felt differently, because I'm listening to the lines coming out of her mouth. Holy moly, you understand? And James Cameron got to be laughing at her because he gets it. He wrote a revolutionary picture where he feels that the indigenous people should have did more than what they did in real life. And, you know, the indigenous Americans should have continually fought back until they died off. That's how James Cameron feels, and that's what he's writing, and that's kind of why we like the movie so much. It's so revolutionary. Now, the other thing that I wanted to kind of mention in that, and this will start my comparisons to, say, Dune, right? Zoe Saldana's character, Natiri, and Zendaya's character in Dune sort of do the same thing. And because my son is a Dune over Avatar person, and I saw the movie with, I didn't see it with him, but we talked about it. It is interesting of the comparisons. Now, Dune is an uninhabited planet, and all the people that live there are conquerors. Zendaya's tribe is refugees from the conquered people. The conquerors left and left them there, and they blah blah blah. However, they came back and started extracting spice from the planet, and those people were there, and they just overlooked them. So the boy, he's a part of the conqueror. Not really, they're all conquerors, right? But he's a part of the family that is overlooking Zoe's tribe. And Zoe, that's immediately her oppressors. So Zoe gets with them. So I feel that it's a comparison that's worthy, right? Starting the comparisons between Dune and Avatar, right? I feel she's a little bit better than Zoe. No, I feel Zoe's a little bit better than her because Jake Sully actually became an Avatar. He joined their tribe, and he went to battle against his own people. Now, we only had movie 2 in Dune, but that's my critique of Avatar from the second movie. Jake Sully did it. He did it in the first movie. So Jake Sully is a different oppressor species than the dude dude in Doom. So that ends that. Next, my other comparison. Just the overall stories, I think I like Avatar a little bit more because it's more of a direct analogy to my ancestry, being African and whatever, 5% indigenous American. It more resembles, that invasion as opposed to the invasion of Arabs over the Sahara or people fighting for oil in the Middle East. All right, so that's Doom. And it is some semblance to oppressed people, but the oppression in Doom is different than the oppression in Avatar. Anyway, the other thing I'd like to throw out is Avatar has the element of Awa, and Awa is like the equivalent of Mother Nature in Earth. And to me, Awa is 1,000% more revolutionary than Mother Earth. I don't know. If Mother Earth is fighting back with climate change, it's not political because everybody going to die from climate change. Awa was like, get the invaders, all the animals, all the plants, get the invaders. Now, is Awa as revolutionary as I would like? No, because they got to keep asking Awa to join and help them. They got to beg. Awa don't have no realization of what the hell's going on. Ain't you all seeing? Ain't people dying? Ain't the father there? Ain't Laz Alonso with Awa? Ain't these these humans sending people to Awa all the time? Well, what are they telling you? Awa got dog. So that's my feeling. Awa is better than Mother Earth. But is it as revolutionary? And then I think, this will go into the future, right? My speculations. I'm going to make this long because these aren't that long and they're not that, I want to do a whole video. But I would have liked to see these things. One, I feel that the Na'vi or the people, Pandora people are superior people to humans. That's a debate of its own. Yes, the humans have technology, but the people's bodies are stronger no matter what. And they have a spirituality that's superior. And their spirituality is so superior, they don't need the things that we need here on Earth. And that is a conversation that I probably will make a separate video about. But the other thing that I would like to see is, I like the new species, but I want the Avatar people of Pandora to have a celestial connection. I want them to involve another planet. Maybe those people come as backup. I want them to involve maybe a species. I know in my universe, I have flying Godzillas. They're like Gamoras. They're big scarabs. They're like crabs. And that's who comes from outer space and joins in the battle. I would like to see something like that in Avatar. And that kind of concludes my critique of Avatar. Thank you for listening. It's a long-ass video, but I had a lot to say. And my YouTube page is always available for comments. Like the video if you made it this far. Give me a comment. Tell me what you think. You agree with me, or if I'm smoking angel dust. Or subscribe. All right? Peace. Jeff Carroll out. Sci-fi.